The Epstein investigation just exploded on Capitol Hill with Bill Barr's sworn testimony crushing years of media lies about Trump. But the real story is who can't testify. Robert Mueller, sharp enough to chase Russian ghosts for years, reportedly can't appear due to serious health issues. If he's truly suffering, our prayers are with him. But investigators need answers about the old Epstein files in the FBI. Meanwhile, Trump is declaring war on mail-in voting while Colorado whistleblower Tina Peters rots in prison and Jenna Griswold walks free after leaking voting machine passwords. The same two-tier justice protecting some while destroying others. What Barr revealed about the Epstein investigation will shock you, but I question his real motivations. The cover-up, though, is crumbling, so keep on watching. And the truth about powerful people often stays buried in secret files. Just like Chuck Norris shocked everyone by revealing his secret to staying strong at 84 years old. What's emerging from these Epstein files will shock the nation. And Chuck discovered 3 things that sabotage our bodies as we age and fixed them with one simple change. Now he is stronger than men half his age with energy for his grandkids. His wife joined him, feels 10 years younger, but here is the connection. Just as Chuck exposed what keeps us weak physically, these testimonies are exposing what keeps us weak politically. Hidden corruption. See Chuck's method at chuckdefense.com/next, because whether it's your body or your government, hidden problems need sunlight to heal. Okay, so if you remember, we covered what Project Veritas broke just a couple days ago. Project Veritas reports that recently uncovered text messages and emails show the former Attorney General Bill Barr worked with the Fulton County DA Willis on the RICO case against President Trump. And Bill Barr even had a target list. This is it. These are the handwritten notes of the whistleblower, the secretary, that came forward and exposed Bill Barr's connection to taking down President Trump in that RICO case. So why now are we seeing Bill Barr testify with glowing remarks about President Trump? Is it because what Bill Barr is saying is true, or is he saying it because he's afraid that he is next on the list because of what this whistleblower has uncovered? Epstein investigations start. Former AG Bill Barr arriving on Capitol Hill, marking the first deposition in the House Oversight Committee's investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Now, if you recall, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton also are set to testify. We'll wait and see what their excuse is, because Robert Mueller has apparently, cognitive decline. But if you didn't know, AG Bill Barr's family has a long, dark history with Epstein. Bill Barr's dream was to work at the CIA, which would eventually come true. Bill Barr was the CIA's mop-up man, and his father worked directly with Epstein while he was the headmaster at the Dalton School. A former CIA officer now testifying under oath about Epstein. Take a wild guess what happens. Bill Barr has lied to Congress once. What stops him from doing it again? No more games. There must be accountability.
What's the message that you have for the committee today? Was your Department of Justice straight with Americans about everything about Jeffrey Epstein?
Barr's testimony before the House Oversight Committee is kicking off a series of high-profile closed-door depositions. Those are intended to extend through mid-October, including subpoenas issued for Hillary and Bill Clinton. That's all part of the probe into Epstein's crimes and the Justice Department's handling of that case. Mr. Barr's time as Attorney General spanned Epstein's 2019 arrest, his later death at Metropolitan Correctional Center, which he called appalling, as well as Ghislaine Maxwell's arrest. Now, additionally, tomorrow is the deadline the committee has given for the complete DOJ records on the case. So will that deadline be met?
Well, we're having really good conversations. You have to understand you can imagine how many documents there are. I think that we're going to have I think we'll receive the documents very soon. We're very excited. This will be our first deposition in our bipartisan investigation into the entire Epstein Island saga. So we've got a lot of questions for former Attorney General Barr. I appreciate his willingness to come in and hopefully this will be the first of many. I'll answer your question.
You set a deadline for tomorrow for DOJ to release an unredacted full Epstein file. Do you expect them to deliver on that?
Well, we're having really good conversations. You have to understand how many, you can imagine how many documents there are. I think that we're going to have I think we'll receive the documents very soon. They're compiling everything together. I think we're working together in a good faith effort, and everything's coming along. I expect to receive the documents very, very soon.
Is that their explanation, though, that there's just so many documents that they can't meet your deadline?
Well, we always get that explanation in every investigation we've done in the 2.5 years I've been here. But I think that I'm confident we're going to get the documents.
Are there other topics you're hoping to ask him about as well, or just Epstein and Maxwell?
Well, the subpoena was just for Epstein. There are some other things that I'm curious about, so we'll see how it goes. But obviously, the purpose of this deposition is on Epstein.
So there is bipartisan interest in this case, and some see the interest by Democrats as newfound. I mean, they had 4 years to dive into this case.
Trafficking charges that could have sent him to prison for the rest of his life. He served 13 months in a private wing of the Palm Beach County Stockade. His alleged co-conspirators who helped schedule his sex sessions were never prosecuted, and the deal, called, again, this is the Miami Herald, a federal non-prosecution agreement, was sealed so that no one, not even his victims, could know the full scope of Epstein's crimes and who else was involved, close quote. The fact that federal prosecutors...
So let's keep digging in here. Bill Barr testifies he didn't see info that would implicate Trump in the Epstein case, despite what all the Democrats are screaming. Comer says the former Attorney General Bill Barr told House investigators Monday he never saw anything that could tie Trump to Epstein. And looks like Shifty Schiff was laying the groundwork back in 2021. For what? Check out this headline. Adam Schiff claims Robert Mueller is suffering heartbreaking cognitive decline. October 6th, 2021. Yeah, because now we're learning that House Oversight Committee subpoenaed Robert Mueller to appear on September 2nd deposition to provide details from an FBI investigation of Jeffrey Epstein from decades ago, even though sources tell me Mueller has been living in a memory care facility for the past few years. How convenient. Now, flashback to 2019. We have this from Elise Stefanik when she questioned Robert Mueller about the Russia impeachment hoax and how it went to the highest levels.
Whether there was...
Ms. Stefanik.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Mueller, as special counsel, did you review documents related to the origin of the counterintelligence investigation into the Trump campaign?
On occasion.
Was the Steele dossier one of those documents that was reviewed?
And I can't discuss that case.
I'm just asking a process question. Have you read the Steele dossier?
And again, I'm not going to respond to that.
You were tasked as special counsel to investigate whether there was collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign associates to interfere with the 2016 election. And the FBI, we know, has relevant documents and information related to the opening of the CI investigation. Were you and your team permitted to access all of those documents?
And again, I can't get into that investigative, what we collected and what we're doing with investigation materials.
Let me ask it.
And of course, now we know who was all really behind it. Let's see. Republican House Oversight Committee plans to withdraw its subpoena for the former FBI director and special counsel Robert Mueller, claiming that Mueller has health issues that preclude him from being able to testify. Do you believe that? AM 560, The Answer, posting a link to Town Hall. CNN's furious that Adam Schiff is facing federal investigations. Oh, that doesn't surprise me one bit. CNN not too happy. Democrats who sought to weaponize the government against President Donald Trump might face accountability. I like how they write this. The alleged news outlet published a report taking Trump to task for supposedly using the FBI and Justice Department against Senator Adam Schiff and New York Attorney General Letitia James. During Trump's first term, then Rep. Adam Schiff was on the forefront of the Russia hoax, as well as the first doomed effort to impeach him. Back in those days, Schiff was a regular on cable news networks, constantly claiming to have decisive evidence that the Trump campaign colluded with the Russian government to influence the outcome of the 2016. However, he never provided any evidence. We have this from President Trump in the Oval Office today. This is another point about ending mail-in voting. This is huge.
Voting. So between paper ballots, very, very important, paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. If you have mail-in vote, even Jimmy Carter with this commission, they set it up. He said the one thing about mail-in voting, you will never have an honest election if you have mail-in. And it's time that the Republicans get tough and stop it, because the Democrats want it. It's the only way they can get elected. Because with men and women's sports and with transgender for everybody and open borders and all of the horrible things, and now the new thing is they love crime. They're fighting me on the fact that I've made Washington, D.C. safe. We're not going to get mugged, beaten up, or killed like all the people you've been watching get so badly hurt. I'm glad. I hate to take your time with this, but I'm glad you asked me that question. Sorry. We're going to stop mail-in ballots because it's corrupt. So between paper ballots...
Mail-in ballots coming to an end, thank God. Who remembers this? Jenna Griswold. Remember her? There's enough hard evidence to convict Jenna Griswold of 2020 presidential election fraud. Charles Beale writes, the communist witch should be behind bars instead of the courageous and patriotic Tina Peters. Unfortunately, protecting Tina Peters from false prosecution and abuse of her civil rights is not a priority for Donald Trump and his DOJ. Tina Peters is languishing in a Colorado prison because of a horribly corrupt and weaponized system of justice. Tina committed no crime, and she is a true American hero. Jenna Griswold is a radical communist and should never hold elected office anywhere in America. She should be in prison for orchestrating the false persecution of Tina Peters. If Trump wanted Tina to be released from prison, she would be released. Do not be deceived. Here we have a Gold Star mom. This Gold Star mom, Tina Peters, and her son. Her son died while serving as a Navy SEAL. She exposed election fraud in Colorado, and prosecutors went after her instead of the real criminals. She may now die in prison. But get this. While her trial was ongoing, Jenna Griswold leaked the election machine passwords for hundreds of election machines in Colorado, a Class 5 felony, and Jenna never said anything to the court. Jenna watched as Gold Star mom Tina Peters was dragged away in chains when Jenna personally did far worse under the law. This is from D.C. Drano. He writes, I will spend the next 4 years fighting to free Tina and hold Jenna accountable. Here she is on a prison phone call.
Oh, always. We did subpoena Mike Frontera, Dominion's lawyer, but they found a way to not let us have our witnesses. What Jenna did, though, that since at least June, those BIOS passwords, 670 of them, from 63 counties out of the 64 counties in Colorado, have been on the public website for the Secretary of State, which means they were out there for anybody to grab. Anyway. She should be locked up, and they should throw away the key and let me loose.
Yeah, we need a prisoner swap.
Yeah, for sure.
So you think that this election in Colorado was definitely compromised because of the leaked passwords?
Oh, always. I mean, in Mesa County, they were finding fraudulent ballots. They were finding the same person was signing the ballot envelopes, and they brushed it off like it was nothing. And as a matter of fact, what Jenna Griswold did with the passwords, she knew while I was going through the trial that was out there and did nothing.
So those passwords were leaked out there during your trial before your sentencing?
They were out there since June, but she knew about it and didn't tell the clerks about it. And now she's apologizing to the clerks. She should apologize to the American people, or at least the people in Colorado. But there were other passwords besides just for Colorado, I've heard, for the United States in there for Dominion machines. So
you think some of our other elections in other states could be compromised because of leaked passwords for the Dominion machines?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what's going on with the cartel in Arizona and Michigan. And, you know, I was so happy when I saw Florida for Trump and all these other places. But just remember, Dominion's headquarters is in Colorado, Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking story. President Trump needs to act immediately and see her freed and Jenna Griswold behind bars. Here is more. Jenna Griswold should be prosecuted.
This is not the first time that your office has made mistakes that have damaged voters' confidence in our elections. In 2022, your office sent out mailers to 30,000 non-citizens inviting them to register to vote. They, of course, are not eligible to register to vote. That same year, your office used Colorado's ballot tracking system to send messages to specific Coloradans encouraging them to vote when, in fact, they had already voted, causing confusion that had to be cleaned up by the county clerks. And now this leak of the voting system passwords. Given your office's repeated errors that have damaged confidence in our elections, which you say is paramount, will you resign?
Absolutely not.
This is not the first time that your office has made mistakes that have damaged...
Will you resign? Of course not. No accountability for these people. But at least we're seeing the beginning of accountability in the Epstein case and other scandals that are rocking Washington, D.C. right now. It just doesn't end, but we are going to be covering all of it as these depositions continue. Perhaps Bill Barr will find himself on the other end of investigation with respect to what he did with the Georgia case, the RICO case with Fani Willis. That remains to be seen. But if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is bigger than Epstein. It's about a system that protects predators while prosecuting patriots. Barr confirmed that Trump had zero connection to Epstein's crimes, destroying years of media smears. But Mueller, who could expose what the FBI knew decades ago, conveniently can't testify. Whether his health issues are real or convenient, the timing stinks. Meanwhile, the same DOJ that won't touch Epstein's client list throws the book at election whistleblowers. Tina Peters is in prison for exposing fraud while Jenna Griswold walks free after leaking voting machine passwords. Two systems of justice, one for them and one for us. And Trump's right, mail-in voting is fraud, and this whole corrupt system needs to be fixed. So here's the question. Do you believe that Mueller's testimony problems and his memory problems are real or just another deep state dodge? Comment below. And show that you're awake. Grab some gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.